it's sudden. When someone is legs are locked up, if you do something, it's going to be like a sudden surge. They're going to experience it as, wow, you hit me really hard. But it's actually their movement. So that's the more advanced thing, but that's actually what people usually teach first. But you're really hard to get if you don't practice the golden elixir. So here, I'm just going to show the punch. Like I'm going to punch through. I'm trying to punch his face. Like I'm not changing my angles. I'm just trying to punch, and you can use everything you can to stop me. Right? Actually, this material comes from George Hsu. Like there's a way of using this kind of push hands or Tai Chi training for punching, and the idea is that I'm letting him stop me, right? So he has this capacity for him to stop me. I'm leaning in. He has the power to stop me here. And you can do it, if we're closer, you could do it from down lower too. It's like, that should be hard for me to punch from there. Now, what most schools will teach is what's called Neijin. So what I do is I bring chi up through the body, through a reaction in my body while staying soft. And I can go, right? But the problem with that is he can read it. So he can deflect. And I'm really in a lot of danger if I do that. Especially if he goes up, right? It's like, even this one you can then slip once you're up and the elbow can come through or something. So that people can use it, but it's very hard to do fast and basically doesn't work because it's deflectable. So what I learned that got me to stop doing that was counterbalance. So here, I'm going to go back. Now, this didn't move, right? His hand didn't move. So no danger to anybody. But what I do is I calibrate the going back with his movement, because now we're a single unit. So when I go back, he's also going back. Can you see that? Now he can still deflect, is what he's doing. But it works to go through. I'm no longer using Jin. I'm using the counterbalance technique to go through. And the way I usually teach this is just simple, like we push on each other at the same time, push. We both go backwards. Right? This is the basic counterbalance function. And everybody does counterbalance all the time, it's just unconscious, they don't use it. And so this is pretty key. The other one is just leaning in, just leaning in. So this is also counterbalance. And also leaning out, especially in judo. This happens a lot. And then there's the fast lean in, right? Those are the counterbalance ones. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just using a backwards counterbalance. See, when I go back, he goes back. Can you see it? Can you see it? When I go back, he goes back, right? So I'm calibrating that. So I just go back a little, and I can go through. But he can push away because he's counterbalancing too. Though a lot of people will yield here, show yielding. Yeah, so yield and deflect. Right? That's what a lot of people do. He yielded, deflected, and went in. A lot of people just yield and deflect. But whatever it is, that's the problem there. And because he can still feel me. Even though I'm pretty empty, I'm completely empty. So when I go completely empty, I'm now going to take away his forces. Okay? So I'm melding. And when I go, he doesn't, it's like he knows that this state is dangerous. You can see it the other side too. So like here, I can't go. Now I can go. and you can use this to fight. Because like if he puts up any block, it's going to go through. Right? The only thing he can do is get out of the way. Which, of course, any good boxer is going to try and get out of the way of me. But if you make the mistake, say, of trying to deflect, that's what I'm hoping. He'll try to deflect like that. Right? Because then I'll get him. And he threw his head back, which is the end of the fight. But he's not stopping it going forward. That's the counterbalance. Functionally will get you through. But he can still deflect. So I have to stop his force. Right? So the way I do that is, let's see, so one more piece now. So the way I do that is that I melt. Right? He's gone, right? He's like, that's scary, right? It's like I melt. You can't stop. He's smart, he's getting out of the way. Because I would have hit him. I wasn't going to hit him hard. But I can hit. And if I use this kind of strategy, bam, 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 he was very alive, it's going to go through every time, that punch. And so people, you see he's a little bit trained to get out of the way already, right? Which is the smart thing to do because that punch is unstoppable, right? Even if I go in slow motion, right, and he's going to push up and down as he needs to on it, right? Those are the forces I'm resolving, right? Can go right through. The up that he's trying to move me up or down, it doesn't work, yeah? Again, he's just trying to go down, right? This force I'm resolving. I can go right through. And again, I'm just touching shaving cream. I don't care. There's nothing there. So I think this is important because if you're actually going to fight with it, you've got to be able to punch and you've got to be able to punch through. This is the Tai Chi punching style, is that it resolves the incoming forces while it's hitting. Sometimes people just say attack and defend at the same time. But there's no actively defending. Right? I'm taking his defenses away. Everything has to be able to turn to water for that kind of technique to work. But it doesn't really make that good of a show. Because why don't you say what it feels like?
I mean, it's terrifying. It's kind of like a wild animal coming at you. Sort of the closest analogy I could give.
It's an unstoppable force, and it's faster than your conscious mind. Even when I go slowly, right? I can do this quite slowly. Right? The punch is not coming fast, but it's like you don't want to be there.